In this simple harmonic motion lab, our objective was to examine the relationships between length, mass, and period for different types of pendulums. So basically, in order to set up our experiment, we attached a string to like a pendulum clamp or support stand, and we attached different masses to a constant length string, and then let the pendulum run at a 15-degree angle. And then we also did another set of experiments with a constant mass, but with varying lengths of string, to see how that would affect. So after we got all of our data, we went to our analysis and we graphed both different sets of data. So for the first one, we graphed length versus period. Period referring to the amount of time it takes for one cycle. So here we started with 0.2 meters, 0.25, 0.3, 0.35, and 0.4 over here. And then our periods, we went 0.84, 0.9, 1.0, 1.12, and 1.19. So as we can see with this line of best fit that we drew, our period increased as our length increased. That's why we have a positive slope. And then for the second set of data, we did period or mass versus period, because this is the one where we had varying masses. Here we had constant mass. Here we have constant length. But mass for period, we noticed that we have a straight line of best fit. We have a constant period, 0.9. Actually, we had 0.91. So you can notice that it's just a straight line across. So what that tells us basically is that in regards to the equations for simple harmonic motions, length affects the period, as we can see in this graph, because we actually have a slope and a noticeable difference or noticeable change in the period, while when we're working with mass, we don't. Like, nothing happens, it stays the same. So and that's kind of concurrent with both equations that we did in this past video on simple harmonic motions. So overall, it was a fairly simple lab. The analysis was pretty straightforward. We were able to examine the relationship between length, mass, and period. As I said, length affects period, mass does not. Some sources of error, well, I would say one of the biggest sources of error would be trying to hang the pendulum in the center of mass, because sometimes it could be a little off, and that really does make a big difference in the way that the pendulum swings and the time it takes. Also, when we were trying to measure out exactly 15 degrees in order to swing the pendulum from, it's possible that a little bit could have been obscured there, which I said earlier, also would affect the time it would take for the cycles to occur. But yeah, I think the biggest one would definitely be the center of mass. That really, even if it's just a little off, it really does make a difference. But I still think we were able to, reach our objective, and we noticed and we saw what we were supposed to see, that, as I said before, length affects the period, but mass does not. So I consider this a successful lab.